Hi guys, Craig Ray from Daily Maverick. Not sure if you will be involved yet. We haven't seen the team, but just looking at the All Blacks and the last two games where you've had to come from behind at the death. We've seen recent history shows us when the All Blacks get ahead, 17-0 in Auckland. I think it was 15-0 at Ellis Park last year. There's almost no way of coming back. So how important is the preparation this week to make a fast start in the game, which I'm sure you'll be involved in whether you play or not?
Yeah, of course, and I'm sure the coaches have mentioned it before. A fast start, I think that is something that's hard to determine. The bounce of the ball, rugby is a funny game. Sometimes you go in with good intensity or with good energy, and the bounce of the ball is just in the opposition's favour. So, I think what we can control is to start the game with really good intensity, and of course I think what will help that is also preparation in the week. So training today has started on a really good note. There's of course also a lot of analysis being done on New Zealand, and a lot of learnings from the first match in the Rugby Championship, and then what worked in the last match against them. So hopefully all of that preparation will help us to start the game with good intensity, and then whatever the points will be like in that first 10, 15, 20 minutes, hopefully it will be in our favour then.
Hi John, Jerry Thornley here from the Irish Times. Good to see you, and thank you. I never thought I'd be interviewing an Irish player in the final of a World Cup. There you go. Little joke.
I think it's a bit soon for that.
But do you ever stop and think of this curious journey you've taken? Like as a kid, you'd have been growing up dreaming of playing for the Springboks. Then it became your goal to play for Ireland. And 4 years ago, you could never have thought this would be possible.
No, I think I've caught myself thinking about it probably too often. It's a strange one because, I mean, if you asked me 6 months ago if I at all thought I had any chance of being here at the World Cup Final playing for the Springboks, I would have told you you're absolutely insane. So for me, it's been, I'll probably wake up when it's all said and done and think, was that a dream or did it actually happen? You know, it was outside of the realm of thinking. So it's been a fantastic journey for me. It's been brilliant being part of the squad. I think, to be honest, it's one of the best groups of lads I've ever had the pleasure of playing with, working with, and knowing. From players to staff to analysts to medical team to coaches, they're all just great people, and diligent, hard workers, passionate about the game, passionate about South Africa. It's been an absolute pleasure being part of it.
But I asked you just one more because you obviously played against Ireland in the pool stages, which there must have been a few interesting moments. I think Tyke Byrne told us that you got a good shot on them and a clear out. Yeah,
look, you always try and get the lads. It's sort of like it's just one of those things. If you know someone a little bit better, you always go a little bit out of your way just to see if you can get one over on them. But no, look. I think me and Orie hit Tiger on a clear out once, but no, it was a good game. I really enjoyed it. Obviously, it was a pity for us that the result didn't go our way, but look, here we are in the end still. So at the end of the day, no one really looks back and says, okay, well, you lost the pool game. They're going to look at, did you win the World Cup? So we were obviously disappointed with the result back then, but we're happy with where we are now. But yeah, no, it was a fantastic game to be part of. I enjoyed every minute.
Hi guys, I know you weren't on the pitch, but can I just ask you how surprised are you both about the allegations about Bongi?
Look, Bongi's a great guy. I've known him since we played together at the Stormers, I think 9 years ago. Like, he's a fantastic guy. He's a good individual. But to be honest, I'm not really even going to comment on it. I'm not going to justify it. But all I'll say is he's a fantastic bloke.
In that case, can you just give an insight into his character, what he's like for you, as not as a player but as a leader and as a friend to you both?
No, he's like I said, he's a great guy. I mean, passionate guy, family man. He's he's captained Springboks now a couple of times. He's an upstanding guy. I don't think there's a fella in the squad that doesn't like him.
Hi, Simon Burke, SABC News. John and Marvin, you had a chance to visit a school in the town that the Springboks are training in. We ran into the mayor and he was singing the Springboks praises and said that the children were overjoyed by the visit from you guys. And that's a theme I've noticed in France, is that the school children have really taken to the Springboks. Tell us about your interactions, because Marvin, they asked you what you would be if you weren't a rugby player, and you said you were going to be a footballer.
I wish, yeah, if I was shorter and faster. Yeah. So no, I think that was a fantastic experience for us, and on a personal level for me when I was a kid, whenever there was professional rugby players around, and whenever you could get an interaction, it's something that stays with you for the rest of your life. So hopefully that interaction would stay with those kids, and of course we've heard that there's not a lot of rugby in schools here, but more in clubs. So yeah, we don't know if they do get many interactions, but yeah, like I said, hopefully that will stay with some of them for the rest of their life, and hope, probably aspire to play for France. Hopefully they don't become so good that they'll beat South Africa in the future. But yeah, I think it's important for us to try to stay in touch with the next generation.
John, the mayor also said that a lot of the kids actually have Springbok jerseys that weren't bought for the occasion. They've had them for a while. So the Springbok is a brand that translates well, especially here in France. Have you got an inkling as to why the French have taken to the Springboks?
I think rugby is just one of those universal things. I don't think you need to be from a certain place to support a certain team. Obviously, you're probably more inclined to support the Springboks if you're from South Africa, or Ireland if you're from Ireland, or you can name any team. But I think there's a lot of people that look at our style of gameplay and look at our history and what we've done and what we represent. I think what the Springboks represent in terms of unity and just passion for the game, I think it resonates with a lot of people across the world. So I'd say that's probably the main reason, is just people find something that draws them to the Springboks. I think it draws a lot of people.
He also said you guys are going to win. So that's the mayor.
The children were very adamant we'd win too, so.
Hi, John. I think I saw your wife in the TV coverage of the last game. Has she been a big part of this as well?
Yeah, no, she was immensely embarrassed because she's this thing whenever she sees herself on TV, she ducks down. So it actually happened, the exact same thing happened to her at the URC final, and she ended up becoming a meme there about when you tell your boss you're at work or you're sick, but you go to the URC final instead or something like that. So that's now, 2 playoffs in a row she's been she's been caught on the big screen. But yeah, no, she's been with us for since the Tonga game, so it's been fantastic having my family with me.
And have you had much other support from back in Munster from Irish people as well?
Oh, tons. Absolutely inundated with messages from Munster supporters. Obviously only after Ireland fell out. Then they really came after us and said, no, listen, you're our second team now, guys. So, no, I think the support was really well felt and really heartfelt as well from a lot of Munster fans. And, I think it made it a lot easier for me, because I thought there'd be, to be honest, I thought it would be quite a negative reaction when I declared for the Springboks from, I suppose, my history with Irish media, I figured there'd be, a few negative articles, but it was resoundingly positive, and I was, really happy about that. And as I said, it made it a lot easier for me.
Afternoon, gents. Jean, you mentioned family. How important is it having your family around during a tournament of this magnitude? And for you, Marvin, it's always a team effort. The coaches have always spoken about how even the guys that don't play prepare the first 15, the entire 23 actually, to get onto that field. How intense have those sessions been in making sure that they are game ready for the match as well? Thank
you. It's incredible. I mean, you're walking through the hotel and you might get into a hallway and there'd be 10 kids running and screaming and chasing each other. It just feels like family. It's really, it's such a nice feeling. You go for dinner and there's a load of kids running around playing games. And I mean, I had my child carried away by a 4-year-old girl about 2 days ago. She was just like, no, I'm going to go play with him now. Picked him up, walked him away. I was like, hands off, So it's fantastic. I mean, Marvin's family is there as well. There's a load of guys actually at the moment who have really young babies. I think your son's 5 months.
3 months.
3 months old.
Yeah.
I think Jasper Visa has a daughter as well. She's, I think, 2 or 3 months old as well. I know Mark van Staden, his daughter was born in the first week we were here. So I think he spent 2 days with her before having to fly back. So fortunately for him, his family's coming this week. They've managed to get all their affairs in order and make the flight. So no, it's such a fantastic part of being here and having them included. I think it's a big thing for them to be part of the whole experience. It's not just, off go the husbands to play rugby. It's, off we go. This is we are part of this. It's us. It's not them. I think it's fantastic.
I think it's rugby at its core is a team sport. Whether 23 in a World Cup situation is 33. So it's important, I think, for everyone to contribute, because we also know injuries. We know you mentioned the preparation as well, and I think professional rugby these days, especially at international level, there's so much analysis that goes into opposition. We know some of the other international teams have a lot of analysts. We also do. Our coaches do most of it, yeah, so of course the analysis is the one part, and then trying to do those analysis or do the things that the opposition do in training it's almost it sort of helps or prepares the guys who will be playing. So by the time they hit the match, they've seen whatever it is that the opposition will bring in training in that week, or in a video session, or in their own when they're watching a video analysis on their phone or laptop or whatever. So. Yeah, I think it's incredibly important for a rugby team to operate like that, and yeah, I think for South Africa, we hopefully all the other clubs or the franchises, we use the same model that is 23 or whatever the squad is. Everyone is incredibly important, because you never know, there could be injuries and other guys could be quite important towards the latter stage of the competition. So yeah, I think it's quite important for us.
Hi guys, it's Cherie from the New Zealand Herald. The All Blacks are known for bringing a very special type of intensity to the Haka on big games, especially a World Cup final. Have you guys spoken at all about, as a team, about how you might respond to it, or what are you sort of expecting that to be like?
Oh, look, I think it's a fantastic tradition, and I think it's very much part of world rugby. I think it's one of the coolest things in world rugby, but it's just part of a game day against New Zealand. It's one of the things you have to face. And actually, I played that game at Twickenham. It's my first time facing the Haka, and it was a cool experience. Yeah, it's something they do, and we'll honour it, and then we'll play the game. I think that's really what we're looking forward to, is the rugby aspect and the 80 minutes. between the four lines, that's what we're focusing on.
No plans to respond in any different or unique ways, just same as always?
Line up and let them do the haka, and then we'll play rugby, which is what we're there for.
Let's take last question over there, guys. We started early, so we'll take one more question.
Adanya, you spoke about the analysis of the All Blacks. Can you just give us an insight as to the pictures that they will paint on Saturday?
Yeah, I think without trying without giving too much away of our plans, but everyone here knows, everyone in the world knows what the All Blacks are famous for. They're famous for courageous play. They brave in with their skill sets. They always try to play with good skills, and of course we felt, or the guys who I wasn't involved in the rugby championship match, but the guys felt that I think in the way they started the match, it was with a good intensity, and I think probably credit to them, it was good skills that was on show, and I think then the learnings that the coaches and the squad took going into the match in London, it went in our favour. So of course we are hoping that it will be like that again. I highly doubt it, because of course it's a final, there's a lot at stake, so probably it won't be a big margin, but yeah, hopefully it will be in the favour of the Springboks.
Can you give any sort of update from a South African perspective on the Bongi situation and maybe how he's dealing with the matters?
Yeah, I hope I understand you right, and I hope I hear you clearly there. Yeah, it's apparently that's been dealt with World Rugby and SA Rugby at the moment. So yeah, from my side, I really can't comment on something like that. Like always, I try to focus on the scrums. So yeah, I can't really give you some feedback on that.
But can I just ask, how is he dealing with it, being in the sort of the eye of this storm?
No, listen, he had a perfect training this afternoon, and well, obviously never perfect. We strive on always to have a perfect training, but we had a good training and he participated in the training sessions, and nothing else came out. So yeah, I can't really comment on that.
And just one more, if that's okay. Can you just describe his value to the team, both as a player and as a leader?
Now listen, Bongi has been part of this group, I think, for the last 6 years. And he's a very, very important, how can I say, piece of our puzzle. So and you can imagine he has been starting, I think, in the last World Cup, and I think he's been starting our semi-final. So yeah, he's definitely very important to us, like all the other players in our group.
Hi there, Will here from The Times. How's it going? Just to follow on from that, can I ask you about his character as well, as a guy? Like, he's been part of the Springbok group for a long time now. Just how important is he around the group?
Now listen, he's definitely one of our leaders in our group as well, and a great guy, great family man. I know his kids. I mean, my kids always look after his kids when they come to the hotel. So he's a very, very humble guy, down to earth, very hard worker, and like almost all the other players, which they should be if they want to play for the Springboks.
Is he shocked by these allegations?
Listen, I haven't been actually went straight into discussions with that. As I said, I concentrate mainly on the rugby part, so I haven't been actually aware of it actually. But to be forward and straightforward, honest with you, I think he's a calm guy actually. He's a very calm guy, well spoken guy, and no, I don't. It's not a really a big thing. I don't want to actually go into it, because actually we got a World Cup final in 6 days' times, and like I said, I'm more concentrated in the forwards.
Can I just ask a logistical question?
Apologies, guys. Can I actually hop in here? I think we've asked you. Daan has said he doesn't really want to answer this. He's answered, I think, about 6 questions already on Bongi. Can we please move on to the rugby now?
I've just got
please?
one that is a rugby logistical question. it is related to him but it's logistical. Have you got another hooker on standby? Because he's your only senior hooker. You've got Dion Free, obviously, and Marco van Staden. Have you got an option in case he's banned?
Yeah, I can tell you just one thing. We got 3 hookers in the group. 3 guys capable of playing hooker. So at this moment, we're very comfortable having 3 hookers. And we're actually glad that we got 3 hookers, which we're supposed to have. Because obviously, if you want to go into a final, you must have 2 hookers on the field and being able to play hooker.
Hi, Daan. Craig Ray from Daily Maverick. The team looked to be lacking a bit of intensity on Saturday. They looked a little flat. Obviously, it was a 6-day turnaround after that French game. Is this week going to be a lot lighter in terms of the physical load? And just give us an idea of what the week looks like.
I would say we will follow a normal rugby program like always. And yes, obviously, we got a 6-day turnaround to get to the game. We had a very tough game against the French. We had a very tough game against the English. And we're glad we could make it to the final. So in terms of preparation, we will do like normal. I think more or less the same load as last week and the week before the French. So I don't think there will be any difference in training.
Can I just ask you a follow-up on that? Why would you do that then if they were looking decidedly flatter on Saturday than they were the week before? Why would you keep the same regime up?
You know what, sometimes I think stress plays a role in big games. Maybe they were a bit stressed and maybe a bit flat-footed in the first half especially. And then obviously we have the luxury to bring on the substitutes, which make a big difference and had a big impact on the game. We stay what's been working for us in the past, and I think we will carry on doing that. I hope it does answer your question.
Sebastian, is it possible to turn the music off?
I must say I actually enjoy the music.
Merci.
Hi, Dan. The world is talking about the Springboks scrum again. Can you give us a bit of insight into the culture in the squad that creates those kind of scrum performances?
Yeah, that's more a subject that I'd like to talk about. But yeah, I mean, we've been work hard till the last 4 years to get to this point, to get to this match. It will always be part of our, how can I say, big rocks in our play, in the way we play. Like the lineouts, like the maul, like the kicking game, like all the other departments. It's just useful for us, and we will use it, obviously always till the maximum that we can. But yes, obviously we can always strive to get better. We're not there yet where we want to be. Yes, we only have one game to get where we want to be, and if it can play a big role in our game, it would be good. But as I said, we're still working hard on it and getting the perfect picture.
Ox and Che has kind of emerged as, I suppose, a star of the tournament. You've seen up close how much hard work goes into it. Can you share with us that journey that he's been on?
Yeah, I was fortunate to coach him ever since I think he was 18 years old. So for the last 10 years, I think he's 28 now. For the last 10 years, I've been coaching him. I left at one stage at Cheetahs, and he was, I think he left at some stage to the Sharks. But I was fortunate to coach him when he was a very young guy. And I must say, he makes some progress. I don't think we've seen the best of him yet. I think because obviously I think from 28 till 32, as a front row player, I think that's where you're actually getting into your prime. But I think there's still a lot of work that he can do. And if you're referring to him, yes, he's a great player, great guy. But as I said this morning to the guys, I mean, it's a cohesion effort. It's not a one-man show. You cannot solve problems by yourself, and you cannot go forward by yourself. You must have the guys next to you, behind you, in order to do that and to be performant.
Daan Human. I asked this question earlier to All Black Press as well. You played them twice this year. And the first in the Auckland test, they got out the blocks very quickly and you guys never got back in the game. Then at Twickenham, you guys reversed that. You got out the blocks and they never let them back in the game. How important is the start going to be in this game?
I suppose the start is always a good thing. I would say the most important thing is to finish well, obviously, because the game has only been won in the 80th minute, or sometimes it might be longer. But it's obviously a thing that we concentrate on and we will work on. But I suppose like the New Zealand team, they will be the same. But it's obviously, they've been very good, especially in the very first game when we played against them. They got us, I think the first 20 minutes, they were leading 17-0. But they played well. I think and ever since the last time that we played against them, I think it's been 6 or 7 games later. So obviously they made a hell of a progress in their scrums, I can tell you that, because obviously we've been following them like all the other teams that we played against.
What aspect of their game has changed the most in the World Cup since the Twickenham game?
Yes, I must say, they're actually good in all the departments. So if you ask me, I must get to my man, our video analyst. But to be fairly honest, coming scrum time, I can assure you they're much better. They're well prepared. They have got a great back of forwards, and obviously they will use it to their advantage.
It's been a bit wet today and looking like it might stay a bit wet throughout the week. Does that change much into preparations? Do you prepare for potentially a rainy game night?
Well, interesting question. I said to the guys earlier when we just done with our first training of the week, it went actually very well and actually preferred because it looked like if you got more energy in the rain, you're not that tired. And obviously there are a couple of big boys which appreciate the colder weather. I can't say the same of the backs. But I can tell you, assure you, the big boys, they appreciate the colder weather. And no, circumstances is one thing. I mean, for them, will be the same for us. Like we will play in the same grounds. And if you ask me, would you be preferred to play in these wet conditions? Doesn't matter, really. Doesn't matter.
And just how special is it to be meeting the All Blacks in the final, given the history between these two teams?
Yeah, every game is actually a big game in the World Cup. Meeting them, which is a top team in the world, it's good to meet them, and it's obviously where you will decide who's really number one. But they're special. I mean, it's for many years. There's a big rivalry between the two teams, and we actually we're glad that we can face them.
Can I just ask you to expand on some of your comments about the New Zealand forward pack, especially since you met them at Twickenham? How do you think, in terms of scrum, line-out, the breakdown, how the New Zealand pack has developed throughout this tournament, and what sort of challenge you think you'll face in this final?
Listen, normally a game has been, if you want to beat the side, I think if you dominant up front, I think then, so they will definitely target us up front, like I suppose we will do with them. But no, it's going to be, we realize it's going to be tough, and we're well aware of the progress that they've made ever since the last time we met them.
Don, where were you in 1995? I just want to pick your brain. Where did you watch the final? You would have been one of the few that remembers it from the squad, I guess. Just tell us about your recollections of 95.
Yeah, my memory of 95 was we watched a game. Sorry, I'm mixing this French and this English so much. So lately for me, no, we were at the neighbor's house as a family, two big families. We watched it together, and there wasn't enough chairs. I remember that. I was sitting on the ground with my two brothers. So no, it was a very good memory. I don't think I could understand actually what it meant back when we beat them today, thinking back now, I mean, it's almost 30 years ago, 28 years ago. I'm getting older also. Anyway, yeah. So it was a great memory. I remember the festive vibe that's been in the country, and it meant a lot for the country. And we're always referring back to that game. Not really lately, but obviously we've been played against them already this year twice, and obviously last year twice as well. So there's a lot of games in between that we had between the two sides, but it was a great memory for our country, and it meant a lot for our country.
Just a bit more recently, just going back to the semi-final, the balance of power really shifted in the scrum in the second half. Was that a result? England obviously started their set-piece specialist. Did you think you'd be able to target Genge and Sinclair in that second half?
I don't, as I said, I mean, it's never individual players that we actually target. We target more as a team. We target them in certain areas and certain times of the game, which we think that we needed. But it was not really the fact that we target individuals. I think they picked their best pack the first to face our pack, which doesn't mean always we're starting with the best pack. For us, there's not a thing like bench. It's more starters and finishers, if I can describe it like that. Hope it makes sense to you.
I know you don't want to talk about Bongi, but this is a really important issue in terms of balancing this story. You mentioned his character. Do you think he would ever say the words he's alleged to have said?
Listen, I can't comment because I wasn't in the field. So I can't tell you. I wasn't even aware of it.
Given what you know about his character.
He's a great character. I can tell you one thing. He's down to earth, a very humble guy. And that's definitely a guy that I would love to have in my team, or in our team. And I can just, that's it. What I can say about him, he's a great guy.
Sorry, Coach, just maybe give us a sense of the mood within the South African team in this big test week?
Yeah, I think it is a great vibe in the team. I think everybody's very excited. A lot of the players, a lot of the families are here. A lot of the coaches' families are here. Everybody's very happy that we made it here. And obviously, if you want to win the World Cup, you must first qualify for the final, which we got to. Very late in the game, but we got to it. And anyway, so actually we're glad we can participate in the final. I must say, everybody, there's a lot of energy, and there's a lot of positive energy in the group at the moment.
Can I just ask a follow-up to the Ox question earlier? What makes him such a destructive scrummager in terms of technique and the way that he is in his position, and also that impact he offers, as you say, as one of the finishers?
I think his ability to always try to learn and be better. I said to him, I got him in the couloir. What is it? In the gang?
Passage?
In the passage, sorry. I got him in the passage after the game. And I said to him, let me tell you straight face, can I tell you something? Which I haven't had to tell him. And I said, if there's one thing that I learned about rugby is, especially in the forwards, especially in the front row, keep your feet on the ground and your head on your shoulders. That's, I think, that, and I even haven't had to say it to him, but he's such a humble guy, a quiet guy. And yeah, I've got a very, very close relationship with him, obviously, because, as I said, I coached him before. And he's actually been born in Tabanshu. And my father is born in Tabanshu, just 30 kilometers off our farm. So with a lot of appreciation between us.
Daan, if I can just follow up on an earlier question. You spoke about the mood in the camp and the emotions and the guys happy with their families and that. But how much does it buoy you or boost you, having come through two such tough games where you had to come from behind, where you had to fight to the bitter end, knowing that you came through it twice now? Is that emotionally uplifting for the team as well?
Yeah, definitely. And maybe we haven't played to our standards, but we haven't been led to play our standards in this weekend. So they've been great. They had a great game, England, and we were just, how can I say, lucky till the end. We had to fight till the end, and I think that speaks a lot of our character and our mood in our team. They're willing to fight. They're not willing to die, meaning on the field. But, yeah.
Right here. In the rugby sphere, it is believed that the All Blacks is the best team of all times. But if you win this weekend and you get to be the team with most Rugby World Cups, even though you didn't play the first two, does that make you the best team of all times?
I would never say that. No.
Why not?
Because I mean, Rugby World Cup year is only, every 4 years, and I think you're only champion. How can I say, for that night that you actually win it. The next day, I learned it from a coach of me in Toulouse, Guinoves. He said to me, listen, and what's tomorrow? I asked him, what are you up to tomorrow? He said, I'm start planning for the next one. So I think that will be, it's definitely our motto as well. Take every game, we don't look further, which I think we can make a mistake if you look further than the next game. Luckily, there's only one game left. We can only look at one game from the moment. So yeah, I wouldn't say it makes us the best team ever in the world, never. What I can tell you is we will be very proud to, as I said earlier, being part of this, being part of the final. Yes, we will see on Saturday.
I think we can take one more question and then we can bring in the players.
If no one is asking, I got the chance to talk to a lot of the players from South Africa after the game, and they said a word that impressed me, that is that they felt dominated during the first 60 minutes of the game. Is that something that gives the best of you? Those 20 minutes in the last game really changed it up. I don't know if that fuels you up or maybe gets you out of the comfort zone.
Listen, all credit to the English team. They had us on the back foot. They had us in that position that we had to make a step up, which we did in the last 20 minutes, I would say. But I think it's a good thing, actually. It's a good wake-up call. And that's referring to his question earlier about a good start. I think it's obviously always a good start. Is important, but how can I say? It's we need to lift our game. And we will definitely try our best to do that, to be better going forward. We have to. If you want to be the champion, you have to lift it. You can't play at that level. And but we still managed to beat England. But England was unbelievable good. It's the best performance that I've seen of the English side in a very long time.
Thanks for checking out our YouTube channel. To stay up to date with all the latest news from the New Zealand Herald, click the subscribe button below or check out one of the videos here, and head over to nzherald.co.nz for more details on these stories and more.